say, hey, you borrowed money, but now here I have the money, solve your problem, lift up your business, you will pay me when you stabilize. When their business grows, they may end up giving you stock in the business in the form of shares, which will continue earning you money, or they can create a branch of the business in your name, give you a franchise. They can also guarantee certain things for you for as long as the business exists. Maybe if someone was struggling in the real estate business, they may say, well, for as long as I'm operating in my real estate business, live here, don't pay me rent. In the process, you will have earned back the money and more in value.
So, Professor, do you realize that there is a common thread? Do you realize that there is, in fact, a common thread among almost all the rich people?
I don't know, because
people think that...
I don't have personal friends who are billionaires.
Yeah, people think that Bill Gates giving away money to charity and what is an accident. People think that most of the they are called philanthropists. They reach a point and they start giving away money.
But can you give what you don't have?
But the more
I think they give because they have.
The more they give is the more they get.
When did they begin giving?
Yes.
Before they got?
Yes.
I would suppose that they give because they have.
Anyway,
can an empty-handed man give you anything from their hand other than to wish you well?
You start giving from what you have.
Exactly.
As small,
yes,
as it grows. But I was still talking about the giving of it.
Yes.
Because from a spiritual aspect, which we shall go to, when you, let me share the picture. When your mother is sick, and your mother is maybe too family. When your brother is sick, they are well aware that you have a job, you earn some money, they reach out to you, and they say, give me 1 million, I'm sick, I need to go to hospital. And then you don't give them the money. The resultant effect would be that you will be labeled as a mean person, and eventually, now from the spiritual sense,
you lose their blessings.
Yes.
You lose their blessings.
You even be bewitched. The African sense. That's how now your mother starts cursing you. That's how now your brother starts bewitching you. And to avoid all those, some percentage of the money needs to be given away. And that percentage is 10%. Yeah, the spiritualists have insisted that you must give tithe. And even the financial theorists that I have been reading, they insist that the 10% must be given away to cover for the 90%. That people who don't give away the 10% ultimately always lose in unsuccessful ventures, lose their 100%.
Who do they give the 10% to?
Yes, so now that 10%, if you're an atheist, for example, you can give to your parents, you can give to your brothers, you can give to people
who are needed,
on whom you honor is due on your part. Yeah, because if someone educated you and now they are in old life, even if they are not your parent and they are struggling, you have to get a certain part of that income and give it to share it in order to create value for that money. Yeah.
But there are some people who are so rich that if they give out their 10%, actually significant parts of this world would be transformed.
Yeah.
If a person who counts their wealth in more than 10 billion US dollars, supposing that wealth consists of the properties and other value, but the actual earnings perhaps maybe $1 billion per year or something. If someone gave out $100 million, that could change an entire economy. The economies which would be changed if just $100 million were given to that. So where is this 10%? Especially from the rich.
Yeah, because this consistent 10% actually has been done by the rich. Because
so they are the ones sustaining our world.
Yes, because you see, it's not mistaken again. There is a Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. There is a Dale Carnegie Foundation. There is a Warren Buffett Foundation. Tommy Elomeru Foundation. There is Dangote Foundation. Why are all these rich men moved to create foundations where some of their personal monies are shared with the world?
Many thought they do this because they have reached a point of satisfaction where they are like, even if I were to eat, I would eat as much. Even if I was to sleep, I would sleep as much. Even if I was to drive a car, I can only drive one at a time. Even if I was to have a jet, I would have one at a time. I would have one yacht at a time. So the best I can do is to give out the too much. My initial thinking has always been like this. But if you are saying that there is some spiritual element to this giving, then you need to tell us about spiritual transformation.
Yeah, because
the spiritual part of personal transformation.
Because that giving creates the subsequent value. The more you give, is the more they get. So when Bill and Melinda Gates gives some part of their money to Africa in a certain cause against hunger or against war, when the African wants to buy a computer, automatically they think of Microsoft,
yes,
or Apple, because they are associated with some form of advancement, I would say. Yeah. So now, before I come to the spiritual aspect of it, I wanted to summarize the 5 Gs. So that we looked at they get the money, grow the money through saving, which usually takes a percentage of 20.
Yes. Give the money.
Then give some part of the money, which is 10%. You can give to your church, you can give to your parents, you have to give a certain aspect of the money. Then the fourth one is grow to invest. Most people, they earn their money, save their money, it is growing after a year. They go for Christmas and create a party in the village.
They eat it up.
They eat it up.
Isn't life supposed to be lived?
Yes.
Should we work and save and then we don't live or enjoy or celebrate life?
Yes. So now the money that you have saved is now what you need to use as capital. Is now what you need to invest. You have grown it, it has become 2 million. It means now you can pay rent for 2 years and start your business. It means that in case of any calamity, if it occurs, you are secured from things that will create pressure, diabetes, create strife in your life. Yeah. So after the money has been saved for some time, then you can invest it. The last one probably would be to grow, what we call the growth mindset, that every day you're learning something about money, that every day you're learning something about your life, that you're increasing your capacity to earn money, that you're increasing your relations to earn money. Yeah, so that's
the financial growth.